favorite recipes to make is the jam recipe. Oh, sorry, I have to just stop and smell. Oh my gosh, I have such a sweet tooth, so I need something really sweet that I can have, whether it's in the morning, whether it's later on in the day, and that will keep forever. So super easy to make, number one. Number two, it's something that can stay in your fridge for absolute ages. And the other reason I really love it is I think this jam makes a super nice and cute gift for people. So what I like to do is to collect old glass jars and then make this jam, pour it inside, tie the jars with a nice ribbon, and then give that to people for Christmas. It just shows that extra little bit of care. It's something that's homely, and Christmas is all about homeliness. And it's made from the heart, so people tend to really, really appreciate it. The thing I really love about the recipe is that it's got loads of really good ingredients in it. So you've got all your berries, and that can include your blackberries, your raspberries, your blueberries, cranberries if you've got them. Cranberries are really, really seasonal, and you want to be trying to eat and use vegetables and fruit just generally in any of the recipes that are within season, which then guarantees and makes sure that they're nice and fresh and they're not too modified in terms of being transported over huge distances and from abroad. And the other thing that I absolutely love, and which really spells Christmas to me, is the orange zest. I can already smell it, and it's just so amazing to have the smell and the aroma of this in your kitchen and throughout the home. It just immediately signals that Christmas is on its way. So the other thing we've done is we've replaced some of the kind of sugar-based ingredients with something that's healthier, which is agave syrup. And so you feel a whole lot better about having this. One of the things I'm keen on demonstrating in this is that you don't have to have alcohol in this recipe in order for it to taste nice. So some people like to put some port in. Personally, I'm using apple juice, but if you really can't live without the alcohol, feel free to add a little dash because most of it will evaporate anyway. But yeah, we're using apple juice for this just because it's healthier really, and that's the whole point of this recipe. The thing that I get asked quite a lot is when it comes to using fruit, is it okay to use frozen or does it always have to be fresh? And actually, the standard sort of premise of that was that we all used to believe that fresh was best. I mean, generally in life, we tend to think and presume fresh is better. However, when it comes to the fruit and vegetables, the freezing techniques that they've now developed, which is where they capture the vegetables and fruit and then freeze it really fast, means that they capture all of their flavor and most importantly, the nutrients. So whereas if you buy fresh fruit and you leave it out for a little while, even just for a whole day, it starts to create its own enzymes that start to degrade it, and it tends to go off pretty fast, as any of us will know. But with the frozen stuff, not only is it more economical as it tends to be cheaper, but in addition, it means that you don't really have that problem. You can just thaw it and defrost it as and when you need to. So what I'm saying is that actually feel free to use frozen if you want to, but also fresh if you're going to make it on the same day. It's really down to you. There isn't a huge amount of nutritional difference at the moment in terms of what we can tell. So that's a really useful little tip. And so I'm going to get on and show you how to make it. So the first thing we're going to do is add all of the fruit, whether it's fresh or frozen, just whack it all inside the bowl. Then we're going to add the zest of 3 oranges. It's just my favorite smell in the world. So we're going to add 400 mils in total of the agave syrup. It's just something so satisfying about doing that. And then 1 tablespoonful of your vanilla bean paste, like that goes. Add a pinch of salt. Finally, 125 mils of apple juice, just because I wanted to introduce another seasonal fruit. And oh my God, now when you start to stir this, you can really smell all of those aromas just filtering through the entire house. It's just so gorgeous. So now we're going to take all of that mixture in the bowl and we're going to literally pour it into an oven-proof dish where you've set some baking baking paper at the bottom, not baking powder, baking paper. And just pour it all in, like so. Get every last little bit out. And then we're gonna add another piece of baking paper on top, just to seal it all off. So wrap it all the way around. Feels like a little lovely Christmas gift already. Put all of the fruit into a preheated oven at 70 degrees Celsius. Leave it in the oven for 3 hours. After 3 hours, remove the top sheet and leave for a further 3 hours. And then the whole mixture will be done. If you've got a dehydrator, then feel free to use that instead of the oven. But I'm just doing it using the conventional method, which most people will have access to. So at the end of a long, hard day, this is what you're left with. So I've pre-prepared a little glass jar with a nice ribbon tied there and filled it with the jam. And hopefully I'm going to give this as a lovely Christmas treat to one of my nearest and dearest. So I hope you enjoy. Make sure you use any of the jam that you've got saved over. You can use it as an accompaniment to the chocolate cake that we're going to make, or even on porridge, as I've mentioned before. Whatever you want, it stores for ages. But hopefully everyone you give it to will love and enjoy. Merry Christmas.